Okay, we're here with Eric Jacobson, Senior Vice President for Creative Development with Walt Disney Imagineering.
Very good.
And we're here to talk about the new Fantasyland expansion.
Okay.
We saw a lot of interesting stuff during the presentation today, some of which we had seen earlier during Jay Brasulo's presentation at D23 Expo, and some stuff that was just announced today, such as the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train coaster. Obviously, a bunch of stuff was rethought during the interim. I know that a number of people were saying, to all the princesses, where's the stuff for the boys? I think we've kind of answered that a little bit here. Why don't you quick go through a little bit of the new stuff that we've heard about today?
Okay, well, the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, which you already mentioned, is really, really exciting. We felt that having another ride experience in the mix would be really great. It would be a win for our guests, you know. And that was something we actually thought about a couple of years, even before the D23 Expo. I mean, it was one of the things we were considering, and we said, you know, that was such a cool thing. And one of our Imagineers came with the idea of the swinging mine car train. Said, you know, if you did that, it'd be just like the mine train cars in the movie. And we said, that's awesome, because it's something nobody's done before. It'll be a whole new experience. Plus, we get to celebrate, you know, Walt Disney and the world's first fully linked animated feature in a whole new way that really, you know, elevates it to that status that it deserves here at the Magic Kingdom. So really excited about that, and that features the great music and the Seven Dwarfs in a much more animated way than they've ever been in the existing attraction, and a cameo with Snow White and the dwarves at the finale after they come home from a hard day of work doing this silly song, plus a couple of some of the forest creatures, not a couple, but some of the forest creatures, and maybe even a visit by the old hag. We're not sure. We're not ready to release that yet, but she may just make an appearance. So we're excited about that. The Barnstormer, starring the great Goofini, which is actually Goofy in one of his wacky roles, is the ride that everybody loves, with a new overlay to fit in with the circus theme of the Storybook Circus. So those are the two things we talked about the most, I think. And then also the Princess Fairy Tale Hall, which replaces Snow White's Scary Adventures. That's really taking our most royal princesses and putting them right in the heart of Fantasyland, within the courtyard, right next to the castle, where they really deserve to be, much more than Mickey's Toontown Fair where they are today. So they're really going to be this regal environment. The little boys and girls that go to meet the princesses will say, wow, I'm in the castle, this is awesome, and we really expect to meet them there. So we're really excited they finally get their due, if you will.
Right, and that way, with Cinderella and Aurora's meet and greets going away due to the mine coaster, then it's not there. Now, can you talk a little bit more about this motion on the mine train? Yeah, that sounds really intriguing.
Well, I'll try to do it with my hands if your viewers can see that. But basically, if you watch the movie, when the dwarves, you know, mine the jewels and fill the carts, when they get ready to transport them, they move and then they rock them over to dump the jewels out. Well, we're not going to do that with our guests, but our guests will be able to get it in the car and experience that sort of side-to-side rocking motion, which is really activated by a centrifugal force. So when you go around a curve to the right, the car will swing to the right. So you'll have more of an exciting feeling than you have on a typical roller coaster, where you're sort of locked down and you just get, you know, move to the right. You'll swing to the right and get a little bit of not airborne is probably not the right term, but you know, that sort of a lift.
Do you have a personal favorite of all the new attractions coming in?
You know, they're so varied, and what I love about this mix that we have now is they're so varied and they're so different. It's really hard to pick. I mean, I can't wait to go under the sea, or with our guests to go under the sea with Ariel. That's a whole, you know, underwater experience. Or go into the woods and up into the mountains with the Seven Dwarfs. Or go inside the castle and meet the princesses. Or go, you know, soar in the air with Dumbo, which is one of the most favorite attractions ever at the Disney parks. So, I mean, and there's more besides that, but it's really hard to say because there's so nothing. It's not like I'd rather do that than that, because they're all so different. Who has not wanted to dine in the Beast Dining Room after seeing that Be Our Guest number in the movie? I mean, it's just, you know, try the gray stuff. It's delicious. So, you know, I don't know if I'm going to serve gray stuff, but it will be delicious. So, you know what I mean? Does that make sense? I mean, it's just so different that everything's to be experienced. And I can't wait till, you know, I sort of call it like Christmas morning, where we get to open the gates and our youngest guests to come in and get to see a Fantasyland that's almost double the size, and finally a home for Ariel, a home for Belle, a home for the Beast, and a lot of these other characters that deserve to have a home in Fantasyland. That's where they belong. That's where they came from. It's those places.
One last question. The Dumbo you've got 2 Dumbo spinners and a queueless queue. What are guests going to be able to experience while they're in the queueless queue?
Well, we're still in development on that, but suffice to say they'll be circus themed, and really it's really more of a virtual wait in line, and that's if you've seen the new Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh queue we just opened a couple of weeks ago. It's not exactly that, but that's probably the best example of a model we have for that right now, where guests will be able to do things as they're waiting, to go on Dumbo. It won't be that same model. It's slightly different. We're not ready to talk about it yet, but it's going to be all themed to Dumbo, all themed to the circus. So it'll be more storytelling they've ever had with that experience before.
All right, Eric Jacobson, Senior Vice President, Creative Development, Walt Disney Imagineering.
It's a
That's a mouthful, yes. Thank you very much.
Okay, very nice to meet you. Thank
Nice to
you
meet
so
you.
much. Good luck.